Well, Ricky, it's been a while. It's Monday. We're doing a Minor League Monday live. Man, we got lots to talk about. Lots of promotions, draftees that are now in the Bridge League and maybe getting assigned sooner or later. A lot of guys performing pretty well. I mean, so much to talk about. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
With the 18th pick of the 2026 MLB Draft, the Cincinnati Reds select Justin LeBron, a shortstop from the University of Alabama.
One. Swung drill. Deep left field. Will it stay fair? It will. A three-run homer again for Ruben Ibarra. That is his second home run of the game.
There's a swing and a high fly ball into right center. Going back to right fielder Walner. Warning track. Wall leaps. Can't get it. It hits high off the wall and kicks way out there into medium range right field. Here's Rodriguez being waved around third. Vetco with a throw in. It's up the line. It's an inside the park home run for Hector Rodriguez.
Back to him. Swing and a drive down the right field line. If it's fair, it's gone. It is gone. Home run. This game is tied.
0-1 pitch, swing and a fly ball hit well to left center field, deep. Center fielder strong is back to the wall, and that ball is gone! Grand slam, Carlos Sanchez!
Swing and a high fly ball into right. Carrying back his Waters at the wall. Gone! On to the Humana Cabana. Home run, Austin Hendrick.
Line drive deep to left. Cordoba back, and it's a grand slam for Carter Graham. Pitches in the air to left. Bandura going back, still going at the track, and he looks up, and it's off the wall about 3/4 of the way up. One run is in as Boo scores. Here comes Collier behind him, and it's a two-run double for Murillo.
Swing and a drive deep out to center. Humphreys going back at the warning track at the wall, looking up, and it's gone! Ty Doucette, welcome to the beach. A two-run shot gives the Tortugas the lead, 3-2 in the bottom of the sixth.
Here's a drive to right center. That's well hit. Camarillo way back, and that ball is out of here. It's a home run. Mason DeVille.
There's a swing and a fly ball deep into left. Cross going back, turns around, gone! A walk-off grand slam for Michael Jamin.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The shot again by Witcher. Here comes the runner in for third. It's Kian Boo has just stolen home. Put this one in the win column. The most heads-up play I've ever seen in Dragons history. He steals home to win the game. Kian Boo stole home to win the game.
Welcome to Minor League Monday, a Cincinnati Reds minor league podcast hosted by myself, Roger Strauss, and Reds on SI writer Ricky Logan. We are back. We are live. We are here to field your comments, your questions, anything. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've done one of these live ones. And I think the last time we did it, Ricky, we had a bunch of errors. I think I had like my speakers were on with the YouTube and all. It was bad. And
I just spilled my drink, so we're good. Had to cover something.
Finally, good. Now we're good. We're going to be in the clear for the rest.
Smooth sailing from here on out.
Exactly. We got one less part of the organization to cover. The ACL is over. We talked about a little bit, I think, on a show a couple weeks ago that they lost in the ACL World Series, but a bunch of those guys got promoted to A-ball, which will be nice to talk about as well. The DSL as well, I think they end on Wednesday the 18th, so about a week from now. So we're going to have possibly playoffs. I think they have
playoffs.
The DSL Reds, I think, have 5 games back, so they got to make some moves if they're going to catch, I think, the Kansas City DSL affiliate. But other than that, they've had a pretty good season as well, and we'll get into that. But what were your, I guess, first thoughts and feelings about this past week or the past month that we've kind of been off?
Yeah, I mean, we've had over the course of the season, we've had the Reds signed a lot of independent league players over the course of the season, and they had one on Sunday that made his debut, and he pitched great. He's 34. I mean, he should pitch well in AAA, but I mean, he was really good in the independent leagues too. Former major leaguer. He played for the Astros and the Marlins for a little bit. But yeah, I mean that, and then the DSL guys, a lot of them are just continue to blow us away with how they play. And not having Hector in AAA anymore is kind of weird, but it is nice to have him up at the big league club, and seeing Arroyo just back to what he was doing in AAA is nice to see also. So yeah, I mean, a lot of good stuff going on in the minor leagues. Even though we dread the major league season, we have and with our farm system not being rated as high, there is still excitement down there, and there is potential for these guys to become something special.
No, definitely. And we also had the draft happen since our last kind of proper show for Minor League Monday. Had some draft reaction, had some stuff here and there talking about it. And the infusion of that talent should help this system. We got already one guy, Eric Becker, is in Dayton Dragons, and has been hitting pretty well right off the bat. And we'll talk about that as well. Hopefully we'll see a Justin LeBron soon. Hopefully maybe a Lavu, the Mulawai Lavu, I want to say.
Sounds about right.
Maybe
as good as I can do.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe a Dylan Bowen. Maybe, we've got some guys possibly that are still doing Bridge League as far as we can tell. Yeah, and hopefully he'll be assigned somewhere. I just want to see that he can compete at this level, because also, spoiler alert, Ricky and I are going to do dueling top 30 lists to see where we rank our guys at the top 30 prospects for our organization. There's definitely going to be some surprises, some guys moving up and down, because there's been a lot of guys that have had great seasons that are showing a lot of potential. And I mean, just right off the bat, a bunch of them are in the DSL. And I don't know if you want to launch right into that, Ricky, or if you've got anything else before we do that.
How about we talk about our little giveaway we got going on. Giving away 2 tickets to LA De La Cruz bobblehead night on September 5th against the Milwaukee Brewers. All you got to do is screenshot that you are subscribed to our YouTube page. If you're on a phone, you just screenshot the profile page that shows you're subscribed. And then all you got to do is just post that screenshot either on our pinned Facebook post or our pinned X post. And if you're on Instagram, not a lot of casual everyday fans are on Instagram. Usually it's a lot of players that follow us. But if you are a fan that watches us on Instagram, you can just send us a DM through Instagram. I have a archived story with the picture of the giveaway on there. You can just reply to that, and send us a DM for that. Got to have the Ballpark app. Tickets are digital. You don't see many physical ticket stubs anymore, which I think is unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, that's all you got to do. It's easy.
Yep. The tickets are in the Phioptics section, so I think you get $10 per ticket of concession money to use right off the bat. You could buy a drink, buy a hot dog, buy part of a Sky Rosa, and put that together to make your Sky Rosa. So yeah, enter. There isn't many in there, so you have a really good chance of winning. Really appreciate all those that have already entered. And also, yeah, you can already be a subscriber. Don't have to be a new subscriber. You could already be a part of our Red Hot Reds family. And we appreciate you if you are, and just send us a screenshot so that way we know to enter you into the contest. But yeah, I got so excited again, Ricky, to talk about the DSL.
That's all good. I mean, DSL is exciting to talk about. I don't think many people really know who these guys are. So I think that's why we're here, to let people know who these guys are. When they get to affiliate ball, you'll have a little bit of a knowledge and a background of who they are. I've had the privilege of, having a conversation with a few of them, to write about them. Angel Nunez Jr. was kind enough to speak with me for a few minutes through DMs on Instagram and talked about his DSL All-Star game. And yeah, I mean, these guys are the future. We've been promised a future ever since Nick Kroll started, and we've been promised a future ever since the Castellinis took over. We've yet to see the future, but, some of these guys can be an important part of this future. For, LA De La Cruz was a DSL guy at 16 years old. These guys could become something. Yeah, for sure. And speaking of Angel Nunez, he transferred or promoted. I don't know exactly, because I think we figured out the DSL Reds are the top of the 2 teams between DSL Reds and DSL Rojos. He was transferred onto the DSL Reds roster, I think, Tuesday of this week.
this past week.
Yeah.
So like he's moving up in the organization, and I think moving up in our top 30s. I think he's also officially moved up in the top 30 for the Reds official top 30 list. And Eider Gutierrez, another DSL All-Star, along with Isai Escalona. So like a bunch of those guys are, all three of those might be ready to come stateside come 2027.
Yeah,
and,
I think so.
And they definitely have the numbers and everything to like back that up. Plus some other guys as well. Like those aren't the only three that you should know. I'd say, Ricky, what were your kind of first takeaways? It looked like the DSL Reds had a pretty good week, going 4-1 for their playoff push, and the DSL Rojos not so great, 2-3 on the week, but they had some decent performances. What did you see out of either of those teams?
Yeah, a little spoiler alert for my top 30. A guy that pitched very well this week, Isai Escalona, DSL All-Star this year. He goes 5 innings, 4 hits, 6 strikeouts, no runs. He's 8-0 with the 0.68 ERA this season. And just outstanding. And a little background on the DSL. You either have really good pitching or really bad pitching. There's really not much in between. And, actually he's 9-0. 9-0 for the season, he pitched between the Reds and the Rojos. So on the season, he's 9-0 with a 1.08 ERA. And for the Reds, DSL Reds, he's got the 0.68 ERA. Just absolutely outstanding. Great performance by him, and he was a key reason to why the Reds, they won 4-1 over the Orioles on Monday.
Yeah, the guy I want to profile, a guy that I think was just in this most recent international free agent signing class, Alexander Cuello, had a great week for the DSL Rojos. Maybe a candidate to move up to the Reds, the DSL Reds soon. In 3 games, he hit 6 for 13, a triple, a home run, 4 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. Power is kind of difficult down there. We're talking about 16, 17, 18-year-old kids that are still growing into their power. And the fences there are almost major league fences. They're not like some kiddie fences, 250 or 300 feet. So,
and wood bats for the first time too.
Exactly. So they're just learning the game. And for these guys to have, above 1,000 OPSs and decent extra base hits to their week, that's a pretty good week for these guys. And Alexander Cuello is one of the good ones that we signed. I think he was like the 3rd or 4th guy on the list that we end up signing after Angel Nunez, and I want to say Diego Pacheco, the catcher. So like he was like the 3rd or 4th guy down there for the international free agent signing, which again is something that the Reds really excel at in the last 5 to 6 years of scouting these guys and trading for like a Hector Rodriguez and Jose Acuna for Tyler Naquin, who are both DSL guys and international free agent signing for the Mets. And they probably scouted them during their free agent signing period. But yeah, I also traded away, what was it? Caleb Ferguson. Was he the one traded away for $250,000?
Yes, $250,000. Yeah.
So as much as I think the fans will be kind of upset they just traded him for cash considerations basically. But it's the free agency pool, the more money they can kind of squeeze out of that. I want to say Alexander Cuello signed for like $100,000.
Yeah, he was very, very minimal.
So you're talking about if you get $250,000, you're getting maybe 2 Alexander Cuellos there, which is, a pretty good deal, especially because you're talking about kids that are going to possibly grow into an Ellie De La Cruz or into, Alfredo Duno, who started up through the Dominican Summer League. But I would just shout out Alexander Cuello for this past week.
Yeah, funny. I was looking at the box score for Thursday for the DSL Rojos, and that was an NFL score, 24-18.
Yeah.
The Cincinnati Bengals lost to the Cleveland Browns 24-18.
Yeah.
No, but there's a lot of offense down there. Like I said, either really good pitching or really bad pitching, and there was some pretty bad pitching in that game. But Wilmer Lara was a signing this year in January. He had a really good game down there on that Wednesday or Thursday game. He went 2 for 6 with 2 RBIs. Cuello, like you said, had a triple in that game. Lara had a double in that game. I think it's Jose Colina had 2 home runs in that game. So there was a lot of offense in that game. And Lara has an 840 OPS. Sabino, I'm trying to get his first name here. Jose Sabino, he has over 1,000 OPS on the season. Just great stuff. He homered in that game too. He went 2 for 3 with 2 walks, 3 RBIs, 3 runs scored. Just a lot of offense. 16 hits for the Reds, 19 hits for the Cleveland Guardians team.
That's kind of crazy. There was one more guy I want to talk about. I mean, my guy Angel Celio has been killing it. He's still hitting above 330 for the season. Definitely another guy I want to see stateside for the ACL in 2027. Him and Angel Nunez possibly, and maybe like a Jacet Martinez or some other guy, Eater
Gutierrez.
Yeah, but one guy that we haven't talked about a lot throughout the season, kind of is just caught on lately, especially this week. Sander Feliciano. I want to say on the Tuesday game, he hit for the cycle, double, triple, home run. And also he started the week, Ricky, with a 208 batting average, was probably why we haven't really profiled him too much on this show, and raised it in 4 games to 245. He hit 750 for the week. His OPS was 2,045. So like just a heck of a week, just crushed it. Possible candidate for prospect of the week. But like this is a guy that has, I think it's his second year in the DSL, just coming on late. He might be a candidate for another 3rd year down there, unless they're just going to kind of, say, hey, you know what? He came on late. Maybe he finishes out this next week in the DSL Reds really strong. That might earn his trip over to the States into the Arizona Complex League. Maybe. We'll see. We'll have to, preview next year, possibly look at a Sander Feliciano. He might be right on that edge.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I think from last year that we didn't think were going to be call-up candidates, and I think Booten was one of them that we weren't really sure, and he made it up to low A, and I think he won Player of the Week one week.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Harrison was another one who didn't really play extremely well in the DSL, and he's been one of the best hitters in the Florida State League this year. So, I mean, a lot of these guys, maybe they have a good eye for the plate and the pitching's so bad that they don't really get to display what they can do. That's another thing, too. Like, Ellie never hit over 300 in the DSL, and he really didn't blossom until he got to Dayton. So, I mean, like, anything can happen. So, we try to give you these guys to let you know who they are, get a little background on them, and then when they do explode, you can say you heard it here first.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Like Orestes Aquino, I think, hit 200 his whole time in the DSL, and he came over and obviously did what he did. But, it's not an exact science. Like you said, because the pitching could be so erratic, they might not just get anything to hit. So there may be some other ways that they assess these players in-house to make sure that, like, hey, they're checking the right boxes to possibly become an ACL Red as opposed to just stay another year down there in the Dominican and develop again. But yeah, another guy on the edge, Jacet Martinez, he's a 3rd year and was injured all this year. He might get sent over to the States once he's healthy, possibly, just because he's starting to get to like the 21
19, 20 years old. Yeah.
So we'll see about that. This is all, off-season stuff we're kind of contemplating about, because I don't anticipate any of these guys. The ACL season's over, so there's maybe a fall ball that they may get invited to or what have you. I believe that happens, in the fall, but we'll cover it if there is any sort of movement or any guys seen in Arizona working out and with the Reds coaching staff and whatnot. So anything else about these DSL guys before we move it on?
No.
Yeah, we're moving on to our affiliate because the ACL Reds graduated 5 guys. I don't think we really talked about it too much in our last show. We were kind of anticipating some movement, right? Like, the ACL season is only about 50, 60 games, so there's not really too much. But in that 50, 60 game stretch, we saw a bunch of guys really, really stand out. I mean, the 5 guys that got promoted that you probably should know and probably have seen if you're watching the Daytona Tortugas. Rayeteri Marit, which I think I'm saying right now because I think I saw an interview where they said Marit, not Marite. Mr. Iker Radona, one of Ricky's favorite DSL All-Stars. Also, Aaron Watson. Sorry, Aaron Morse is already there. And then 2 hitters in Steele Hall and Hervin Murillo, a fan favorite of our podcast here for sure. Another guy really quickly up the ranks. I think you texted me and I couldn't believe it. I thought it was just kind of like someone else, like a Baseball America or somebody ranked it, but the 8th ranked prospect now for the Reds.
Yes, he has jumped. He was, I think, 21st or 22nd to start the season, and he has skyrocketed up the organization. And that's awesome. We got 2 catchers in the top 10.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because we talked about Ty Steve a lot on this, or at least on the Red Show a lot, and he was like the one catcher that really kind of 2015 first-round pick that kind of came through the organization as someone with plus offensive talent. Now you got Alfredo Duno and Hervin Murillo, who are super mature hitters that probably the only flaws in their game is receiving, is probably getting used to, pitching staffs and what they throw at them. And also probably the ABS system and the challenge system and all that stuff probably is something they got to get used to. Pitch comm. Like that was the thing actually I was thinking about. We'll talk about probably Alfredo Duno. Is that's probably the biggest jump is because they don't have that kind of stuff in the lower levels that they have to actually kind of get used to pitching. And then also with the, change from the ball from, I think, AA to AAA, they use the major league ball at the AAA level. So like, there's just little nuances in the defensive game for a catcher that Hervin Murillo will get there. I think, what is he expected? 2029, 2030?
Yeah. I mean, he's just 19, I think, maybe even 18. He's really young.
Yeah. But still beyond his years in hitting and a switch hitter too. Like, so that's even something that we haven't seen in our organization for a long, long time. A guy that can, like Ellie, can hit both sides of the plate for average and power. So keep an eye on him for sure. But yeah, are there any other guys there at Daytona that you want to talk about tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Harrison. I mean, he's one of the top hitters in the Florida State League. He's hitting over 300 on the season. He's hitting 304, 10 home runs, 920 OPS. Just great stuff from him. I think he's a little older. I think he's 21 or 22, but still, he's from the Bahamas, I believe. So he's had a different path through the DSL as opposed to most of your typical international free agents, but just a great hitter. Like I said, he didn't really perform well when he was in the DSL. I'll get the numbers for that. In his DSL season last year, he hit 214 with the 589 OPS. So his OPS has gone up well over 300 points. It's like 350 points or something like that. So it's great to see. I mean, we're seeing some development in the hitters at the lower levels. Credit Chris Valleca, I guess, being the director of hitting for all of the organization. But I think there is some merit to that. But, we're seeing a lot more power in the organization too. Guys like Carter Graham and obviously Duno and Murillo and all these guys. But, yeah, Harrison just really, really surprising me this year. And as expected, a lot of the ACL guys have kind of struggled coming up. New league, new pitchers. You're not seeing the same pitchers every few games. You're seeing more mature pitching to some degree. So don't expect Steele Hall to hit 400. Don't expect Murillo to hit over 300 right away. And then Bernard Moon, I think he hit a home run this week. Just really good stuff from him. And I think they took the series this week too, so a lot of good stuff from them. Yeah,
I forgot to mention that. Yeah, they went 4-2. They've been the winningest part of the organization outside the ACL, where they made it to the ACL World Series. But yeah, even before the ACL guys kind of injected their talent into the Daytona Tortugas lineup, the Tortugas were like the top in their division. They got a chance for a second half playoff berth the way they're playing. And even though that's with like Shengen Lin going on the 60-day IL, unfortunately for him, after he kind of started to figure it out with some starts back to back to back. It's just these guys like Jalen Hairston. Another guy, Rafael Torres, was on fire this week. Just he's more of a contact hitter, not necessarily a power guy, because he ended up going 565 batting average, but with just 3 doubles and 4 RBIs, no homers, no triples. So like he's a smaller guy, infielder. He's not going to be hitting for the power extra base numbers, but that's just another contributor to this Tortugas that has led them to win, I think, 3 or 4 consecutive series out of the All-Star break. And they play 6-game series. So it's not like they're winning, 3-game series, 2-1, 2-1, all that. They're taking these teams, they're winning like 5-1 some series or 4-2 some series. So like, shout out to them. Even though that they had a couple guys move up, like a Tyson Lewis moved up to Dayton. Ty Doucette moved up to Dayton, along with, who's the other one? I just had marked down here. Oh,
Starlin Torres and Edgar Colon each got moved up.
Yep. So like they've kind of lost some talent, but also they've got back Drew Davies, who retooled a little bit at the ACL level a bit, and hopefully he's got his swing a little bit back on track because he was hitting around 200 for long stretches of the 2026 season. So I wouldn't be surprised if you're hearing Daytona Tortugas having a second half playoff appearance, especially fueled by a bunch of these ACL guys, Hervin Marino, Steele Hall, Rietary Morate came out, and I guess I'll go into this. He had a fantastic debut, was on kind of like a pitch count, supposedly according to Tortugas announcer Matthew Mounsey. Supposedly was so efficient because he was only supposed to go 2 innings, about 30 pitches. He got through the first 2 innings, Ricky, with 19 pitches. So they're like, go ahead, pitch a 3rd inning, and got 31 pitches in the 3 innings, 2 hits against and a couple strikeouts. But that just really kind of, like something that we've been really talking about this guy, Rietary Morate, a lot. And just to see him continue his success is really encouraging, especially because he's 19 years old, already appeared on the World Baseball Classic stage this past March, and is continuing his brilliant season into low A Daytona. I don't know. Sky's the limit for this guy. He's really small and kind of gangly looking. So if he puts on some muscle, he might be throwing 98, 99 from the left side. And that's something that we haven't seen in the Reds organization, I don't think, ever.
Yeah, I mean, I know we kind of dogged on him on our last show, but TJ stats, they are pretty good about getting velocity and getting like pitch metrics down at the lower levels. And Morate, I mean, he throws 95 to 97 electric fastball, just really good stuff. And then going back to the Tortugas, you mentioned the second half playoffs. In the first half, they were really bad, 21-45. They had like 0 offense outside of Jacob Friend and Ty Doucette. And then now in the second half, I mean, they're leading the league. They're 26-15 since the start of the second half. 5 games ahead of first place. Like they're 7-3 in their last 10 games. Like they're on their way to being a serious Florida State League champion.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of crazy because of the first half of the season that they had. It's almost kind of the reverse of the Dayton Dragons had kind of last year, where they had a really terrible second half of the season, or first half of the season. Actually, they're repeating the same thing. They have a terrible first half and an on-fire second half to get to the second half playoffs. Might be the same story for Daytona Tortugas. And yeah, I think Carrick chimes in that Davis is only down there for a little bit in the ACL, possibly injury or something. Either way, he's back up. I'm glad that he is, because he's another one of those young international guys that we'd like to keep around in the system. Left-handing, hitted, power, first baseman, outfielder. So glad to see him back up with the Tortugas. I figured he was down there, hopefully a retool or just maybe take some time off from playing affiliate ball, but he's back with Daytona, and it's good to see there. But I think you're muted still.
A lot of good talent down there. A lot of players we're going to be excited about. Steele Hall goes 2 for 4 on Friday, so he's still performing, but obviously don't expect unbelievable things right away. It's only been down there for a week and a half, so it's exciting. We're finally seeing our former first round pick, number 9th overall pick, moving up, and then we're eventually going to see Justin LeBron playing somewhere. I think it's probably going to be high A, but it could be low A. They might surprise us. But the Reds are weird with prospects, and one that we're going to talk about in a little bit had a little bit of a surprising place because he gets promoted to high A right away. So it's drafting college players is a little different. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. And Steele Hall just turned 19. 2 or 3 weeks ago. So still lots of potential there. If he has a great end of this season, maybe a nice offseason working with the complex and the offseason, whatnot. Who knows? Maybe he's in Dayton at the start of the 2027 minor league season. But we'll take it there to Dayton then. Dayton had the top of our affiliates have been kind of struggling of late, especially at the break. I don't know if it's just because of the promotions of a bunch of players or getting used to kind of the next level type of thing with some of the Daytona guys coming up to Dayton. But they only went 2-4 on the week. They had, like I said, Starlin Torres, Edgar Colon, Ty Doucette, and then also, wasn't there another one that I'm forgetting that got promoted as well? Oh, Eric Becker, right. Eric Becker got assigned. That's the one I'm saying. And you were alluding to it. What am I saying? Eric Becker, the second-round pick for your Cincinnati Reds, second baseman, been playing there, I think, since like Tuesday. Like it's had a whole full week of playing for your Dayton Dragons, and he has looked the part. And that has been encouraging, to say the least, because he was a guy that I think in the draft, everyone was talking about how he was kind of selected way later, like he dropped. He was supposed to be like in the 40 range, but we picked him up in like 59, 60 or something like that. So it's encouraging that he can just get dropped in there and has this mature, playing 3 years of college ball swing and just basically, sparking the Dayton Dragons to a couple victories and some offense. So what did you see out of Becker and or the Dayton Dragons this week?
Yeah, I mean, Becker just has a really good swing. He hit over 340 in college. Just a really good, kind of reminds you a little bit of a Matt McClain type hitter when back 2023 McClain, minor league McClain. Just not going to hit a ton of home runs, but he can run into a few of them, his fair share. I think he had just barely over double digits for his college career. But he sure ran into one the other day. I mean, that thing was a moonshot over in the right field seats. So really good stuff from him. A really good defender. I think he was rated as one of the best infield defenders in the draft. So really good to see that. And then also, I think since the last time we've had a show for Minor League Monday, Kyle Henley got promoted.
That's
DV Viafana got promoted. And then also shout out Ty Doucette hitting his first high A home run the other day too.
Yeah, the Ty Doucette one was a bit over, for me at least, my opinion, overdue. I think been texting you and been saying like about time. Ty Doucette is figured it out, just like kind of Jacob Friend figured it out in Daytona, was hitting for power. And the Florida State League is not a league that you're going to hit a lot of home runs. Like we were all in awe of Alfredo Janot playing a whole season down there last year and hitting 18 home runs. And we're like, well, if he did that in Dayton, he would hit 30. And that's basically come true because he's getting to that range, aside from obviously he got hurt and all that. But like, same thing with, Mason Neville. He's starting to figure out at Dayton more than he did at Daytona, it feels like. And Tyson Lewis, he's hitting better in Dayton than maybe the last month. He had a pretty nice last month in his stint with Daytona, I think right after his IL stint. But anyway, what I'm saying is that Dayton's got a chock full of talent. I don't know if they're going to figure it out toward the last part of the stretch. I haven't seen Kyle McCoy in a while, so I'm kind of worried about his progress. I was really high on him, possibly being a double-A pitcher maybe at the end of the season, at the very least start of next season. But Luke Hayden also got promoted to Chattanooga after having a couple good starts with the Dragons after his long IL stint. He has missed a lot of 2026, and he was kind of promising last year at the beginning. He was probably the one promising part to their team for the Dragons in the first half of last year, which was awful. But good to see Luke Hayden back and throwing strikes. I think his last start for the Dragons, he had like 5 1/3 innings and 9 strikeouts. So I'm glad that he's moving through the system because he seemed like a really promising pitcher. Then we can't have we're starting to really get a little thin on the pitching department, especially starting pitching with Williamson and Lodolo always being hurt, now Hunter Green and what have you. So can't have enough good pitching, and hopefully he can supplement the Reds for years to come. But yeah, the Dragons. There was one guy that was outstanding that again we don't talk about a lot week to week. John Michael Fail had a nice week. Went 9 for 21, 429 batting average, 952 slug, and a 1.45 OPS, 3 homers and 8 RBIs. And that's pretty good on a team that has like power hitters like, Neville Jacob Friend, Ty Doucette now in the lineup. So like to have him be like the biggest slugger out of all those guys, and he's getting a little bit more playing time, which is good to see. But yeah, shout out to John Michael Fail for this week.
Yeah, the last guy I want to talk about, you kind of talked about a little bit ago, is Tyson Lewis. In 30 games, he's already got 6 home runs, already surpassed Daytona totals. He's hitting 280 on base of 318, slugging 464 at the 782 OPS. Kind of looking more like the ACL Tyson Lewis and not the Daytona Tyson Lewis, which is great to see. I think he kind of fell off the prospect rankings a little bit just based off the Daytona performance, but I think they got to take into account Florida State League when it comes to that kind of stuff. His swing is a lot of loft in his swing, so ball's going to die out there. But good to see. He's got 8 stolen bases too. Has already surpassed his Daytona totals. So really excited for his future. He's still just 20, I believe. So like he's got a ton of potential still, and playing third base now could potentially, maybe, possibly see an outfield move for him depending on what happens. But got a lot of speed, so he'd be a good fit to go out there if that's what has to happen. But yeah, I mean, great to see Tyson Lewis really starting to pick it back up.
Yeah, you mentioned him possibly playing the outfield. It's because there's so much infield depth, to say the least. You know what I mean? Especially the option down Arroyo back to AAA with McLean still there, kind of second base. Becker making a strong start to his professional career. You might have to put Tyson Lewis in the outfield. He's got a strong arm. Is an athletic kid, still young, can learn the position. It's not too far in. It's not like he's learning it. He's not learning it like a Noelvi Marte, on the fly, or putting Hector Rodriguez in center just cause, or Spencer Steer. So there's at least that going for him. He's got some time to pick up the position. But yeah, he's also got the power of an outfielder, right? Like he's got power also of like a corner infielder as well. Like I would be mad if he becomes the future third baseman of this organization. But I don't know. Shortstop may be out of the cards because of all the guys ahead of him, and especially if Steele Hall makes a leap, those two might be playing on the right side or the left side of the infield together, possibly. But it'd be interesting. And then yeah, just as Carrick says, we're also forgetting about Justin LeBron. Where does he figure into the infield? It's kind of loaded in there, at least in terms of just the depth chart. If we're gonna go with like some NFL parlance, yeah, there's Doucette plays first, Becker at second, LeBron short, Lewis in the infield. Not bad. But then what do we do, Carrick, with Alfredo Alcantara? You know what I mean? Like this is a guy that's on the top 30. I'm not sure if he has a job in 2027. He might be a guy that bounces around and kind of like a Johnny Ascanio, who kind of figures if they need something, or Diego Omana, who if they need a catcher at a certain level, he gets bounced around like that. I thought Alcantara obviously is not, is he hitting? Last time I saw it was like in the 220s. So it's difficult to, I guess, maybe justify his top 30 ranking still. He still hits for power sometimes, but yeah, they got some competition. I know we made a joke about Matt McLean having competition. The minors at second, third, and short is pretty loaded and pretty hard to break in. Yeah,
and there's a couple guys at the AA level that are fighting for third base for the future rights too. So I mean, there's a lot of infield talent that has potential to be far better than what we have currently at the major league level.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like we're gonna have to see how it plays out the next couple weeks with Dayton. Sorry, and I think if we have to put it out there, and then we talked about possibly off screen, we think Justin LeBron is going to Dayton. If Becker is kind of transitioned this well, I'm not sure exactly what they're still looking at in Justin LeBron in the Bridge League or whatever they're doing for the workouts down there in Arizona. But hopefully this week we get some clarity and maybe get to see him assigned. I don't know. We'll find out. But anything else? Yeah, and there's also Ricky Cabrera. Yeah, it's second straight season on the season IL or whatever it is. So yeah.
It's unfortunate because he was one of the top-rated international prospects in his class. I want to say he was top 10, maybe even top 5. Just back-to-back significant knee injuries. I don't know if there was a complication in his surgery or what, but I think it was like a full, all major tendons in his knee or ligaments. I'm not exactly sure, but it's unfortunate because he's got a lot of potential to be a decent, good player. It's just like a lot of guys that, especially at the major league level, injuries just hold him back.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Anything else on Dayton before we move it on?
Nope.
Well, I guess before we get into Chattanooga, we have a couple guys that got moved. I also forgot about Peyton Stovall. I forgot he got moved up. Another guy at infield to provide that depth and all that. Before we get into Chattanooga and Peyton Stovall, we have this ad.
Listen up, Reds fans. If you're repping the Cincinnati Reds this season, you need your drink just as cold as your takes. Introducing Frostbuddy, the world's first and only universal can cooler. Say goodbye to switching between coolers like you're rotating pitchers. Frostbuddy fits every 12-ounce can, slim can, 12-ounce bottle, and 16-ounce cans and bottles as well. All in one. No more guessing, no more swapping. Just grab it and go. And here's the game changer. Turn it into a tumbler by adding their 100% leak-proof coffee lid. That's right. From first pitch to morning commute, Frostbuddy's got you covered. So whether you're tailgating, watching from the couch, or celebrating a Reds win, this is the only cooler you'll need. Grab your favorite team's Frostbuddy now and keep it cold all season long. Yeah, what's cool about Frostbuddy is we ordered a backpack. They actually sell backpacks on their website too, and we got one for my oldest son for school. And it's got like 5 different pockets. It's got two water tumbler pockets. It's got a laptop pocket in it for his Chromebook for school. So they're really cool. His is like a baseball design. So when you look at the front of the backpack, it looks like a baseball diamond, and it's got like ice cream drips coming down it. Like it's awesome. And then obviously they have the Universal Buddy XL that I use all the time. And they've never sent us anything. I've bought mine all on my own. You bought yours as yours was a gift, but you bought yours all on your own, and they're fantastic. I have zero complaints. They've also got really cool tumblers too. That's kind of the design of the backpack. Looks just like that.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. It's school time. About that time to get that school supply. So yeah, shout out frostbuddy.com/redhotreds. Get your stuff there. We will move it on to Chattanooga. And I feel like we have to talk about Chattanooga always in this way, Ricky, that they had one of the hottest starts at any parts of our organization and all of minor league baseball, going like 17-1, 16-1 to start. Yeah, and since then, it's been like not good. They're now under 500 and not been winning series as of late. Another series loss, 2-4 this week. But, a lot of guys that are come up from Dayton. We got the 5 guys from Dayton, the Vu, Alfredo Junot, was Nestor Durant part of that one? And
no, it was Jose Montero.
Jose Montero, yeah.
Jose Montero, Carlos Sanchez, Duno.
Probably Carrick will get in the comments. Or anybody else in
comments?
Yeah,
there's 5 of them. Yeah, there's 5 guys.
Yeah.
6 overall. Yerlin Confidant came up like 2 days later.
Exactly. So they had a lot of guys leave Dayton to go to Chattanooga. So there's a bit of a rough transition. Some of the guys are not hitting what they were, like Carlos Sanchez, 198, Vu, 150, not close to where they were kind of in Dayton. So, there's some transition. It's another step up, guys with, stronger arms, more mature arms, more spin, more seasoned, stuff like that going up against that kind of talent. And then also, Alfredo Junot is on the IL, I think, for, hopefully not too much longer. He tried to beat out a ball at first base and maybe tweak something. But yeah, I don't know. There's some guys that have been playing pretty well. Our guy, Big Rube, Carter Graham, is still playing pretty decently up there. Yerlin Confidant is in the lineup for the most part. They promoted Big John Harmon to AAA. So they've got some guys that should be, playing a little bit, I guess, better than they probably are at the moment. Oh, Jay Allen. Jay Allen's been outstanding since I think the All-Star.
Yeah, shout out Jay Allen for getting back on the top 30 of MLB Pipeline. That's awesome. I love that for him.
Yeah. Great interview with him and Reds Daily 4 if you want to check that out on the YouTubes and whatnot. And his week was good as well this week. I got him down here for I think he only played in like five of the games. Went 6 for 15, hitting 400, 1,000 OPS or 1,000 slug, 1.57 OPS, 3 homers and 6 RBIs. And that was the one thing he said in the interview to our friend, mutual friend Greg Kuffner, is that the coach's feedback for him was that his defense is excellent. Obviously, he's kind of behind Carlos Jorge for playing center every single day, probably in AAA, but has been playing regularly in center since Jorge has moved up, and basically has made some outstanding catches in the outfield as well. So he's a plus outfielder. It was the offense that was something that they wanted to see kind of progress, and I think he's responded to that, especially post All-Star break. Been really, really good, hitting the ball hard for home runs. Had a walk-off the other night, I believe, for your Chattanooga Lookouts to get one of their 2 wins this week. But it's not Jay Allen's fault in any stretch of the imagination. He's been doing his part for sure. So we're really happy for him. And yeah, I got a hot take, but we can get to that in a minute. So, but yeah, what were your thoughts initially for the Lookouts this week?
Yeah, Jay Allen hitting that home run on, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. Just showcasing power, showcasing his speed, showcasing his defense. Batting average is finally, I think it's at a career high throughout his entire minor league career. 281 this season. His previous career high was all the way back in the ACL in 2021, his draft year. That was 328, and that was just in 19 games. So he's really putting it together in a consistent way. He's hitting 281 with an 860 OPS. Just outstanding. Good for him to stick with it. He's still really young. I think he's 23. I think 24 at the oldest. Just really good stuff from him. 23. Yeah, he turns 24 in November. But really good stuff from him. I still want to see more from Cam Collier. I think last week he was on a little bit of a hitting streak, but he kind of cooled back down. Carter Graham hasn't really put it together at AAA, but he's been, or AA. He's been better than the other 5 guys or 4 offensive players that have come up. He's got, I think, 7 home runs since his promotion. Duno's Duno. He's obviously he's hurt, but he was hitting fairly well at AA. But I think it's an adjustment. You're facing guys that are independent league signees. You're seeing guys that have maybe been career minor leaguers to their 29, 30-year-old pitchers that have been around, maybe had a cup of coffee at the major league level, and then their teams found 5 better starters, and then their AAA guys are their top prospects. So it's a lot of AA is a weird league, and the Southern League's hard. It's a good league to hit in, but it's just a lot of good, decent pitching down there that makes it harder. And then obviously when you're a younger hitter and you're facing these guys, you're trying to learn your own thing too while you're doing that and dealing with these pitchers. But yeah, Carter Graham, 7 home runs on the season. I think he hit a home run this week. I can't remember, but
yeah, they did it the Friday or Saturday game.
Kian Vu hit a 3-run home run. I think earlier in the week too. So there's flashes. They're showing us flashes, and that's what you want to see. Is you want to see fight, and you want to see the grit from these guys, and they've got it. And we're really high on Kian Vu. We're extremely high on Carter Graham, Jay Allen, Carlos Sanchez, and Ruben Ibarra has just been a fun story to watch with all of his home runs. He's obviously he's been a career minor league player. He's been AA the last few seasons, but just really good to see. And while the team's not winning games and performing, a lot of these players are still showing their flashes of potential to get you kind of excited for what they can do in the future.
Yeah, for sure. And you lead me right into my hot take. Obviously, we saw Hector get called up, so we got some movement for the outfielders. Hopefully that means Hector's going to be up there a while. I don't want him being, yo-yoed up and down like a Chase Petty or, I don't know what they're going to do with Edwin Arroyo possibly as well for the next, 6 weeks of the season. But the corresponding move, if they get Tolia up, which is a possibility, I've been seeing some on the interwebs talking about Ivan Johnson got optioned down, open up maybe possibly a 40-man spot with Mr. Hunter Green going on the 60 AIL. Michael Toglia, really good player. And as far as I'm concerned, should be with the Major League club right now. Like he could have a JJ Bleday type of energy infusion that JJ Bleday did in April and May. But if those moves, or if that's to happen, it should be Ruben Ibarra, Jay Allen to AAA now. Like both of those guys deserve it now. And the reason why I say this is because Jay Allen he's starting to figure out. I know it's a small sample size and everything like that, but like you say, he's 23. His defense is plus. His hitting is now starting to come around, and you need outfielders. That's the one thing that this organization has not really produced, right? We got a guy in Noelvi Marte, a former infielder, now turned outfielder. Hector is the only guy really. He's just started his career at the major league level. What's the last real great prospect that we put out there in the outfield? Spencer Steer,
TJ Friedel.
TJ Friedel. I only we go back to like Jay.
And Spencer Steer was an infielder when he first came up, so he was a third baseman, second baseman. So I think you'd have to go back to other than Friedel. Friedel was like a top 12 prospect, I believe. As far as like a significant outfield first prospect,
yeah.
Do you have to go back to Jay? Is it Jay Bruce? Like, is that far?
Possibly.
I mean, Hector Rodriguez was originally a second baseman.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
a good question because I can't think of anybody else.
Yeah. Glad Carrick approves because Ibarra should be up there. And I think Jay Allen as well. The outfield out there, I think they got I don't want to give it away. We'll talk about it in the Louisville section, but they could use another outfielder for sure at AAA. I hope the reason why they're not, if they don't make that move, I hope it's not because they anticipate Hector being optioned down. Keep Hector up there. You brought him up in August. What are you doing if you're just going to play with him by having him go up and down? But anyway, that's a discussion for a different day. Any other Chattanooga guys or things you want to point out?
I think Ryan Garcia made his Reds debut. He was a teammate of Matt McLean's at UCLA in 2019 and Michael Toglia.
Yep.
Kind of tie in those two connections. But, he did get the loss, but he pitched fairly well. He gave up 4 runs. 2 of them were off of a home run. But 5 innings, 4 hits. 2 of his 4 hits were for home runs. But I think he's got some potential to be a decent pitcher for us. He was signed out of the independent leagues. He was another guy that they signed fairly recently. And he, obviously 2 games, 0-1, 7.36 ERA, 9 strikeouts in those games too. So he's got the strikeout stuff working for him. It's just getting, AA is probably a little it's pretty similar to the independent leagues. I'd say independent leagues is probably a little weaker, but not by much as far as like hitting talent. But, I think that they'll stick with him and see what he can do. He's still really kind of young. He's 29. So, I think he could stick around a little bit. And then Stephon Moore has been a really good reliever. He was another independent league guy. I think his ERA is right around 3, which is good for a reliever. He started out excellent. I don't think he gave up a run for his first 5 outings. So he was really good. Again, older, 28 or 29 years old. He was a 19th round pick by the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2017 or 2018, I believe. But he's been around. He didn't allow a run this year in independent leagues. And then you go back to last year, I think he had a significant, scoreless streak going on. So he's, he could be a future bullpen option for the Reds. He could be like a Sam Mole type move that comes up next year potentially. And Chattanooga was fun. A lot of exciting talent. It's just the wins aren't showing yet.
Yeah, definitely. Stephon Moore, get him in AAA. I like that too. He's shown he can pitch at the AA level. Give him a chance, especially if they call up somebody else and move around the bullpen and what have you. But yeah, I'm all for that as well. But we'll move it on to Louisville. Leo Balcazar got moved up from Chattanooga to Louisville, a 40-man roster already. So we've talked about his struggles a lot, and I think that might have just been a move to, I don't know, kind of like Tyson Lewis had kind of struggled in Daytona, put it together for a little bit, and then moved him on to Dayton, and he's starting to get going. Maybe they were thinking the same kind of magical happened with Leo Balcazar, since he had been hitting in like the 240s most of the year. But we'll see. It just kind of clogs up the infield again now that we got a bunch of guys, with Edwin Arroyo. Francisco Obaez is playing in the outfield, which is something. We've got also who else is in that infield? Juan Brito, the guy we just traded for.
I did see some rumors that he could be the move up instead of Tolia. Honestly, I think they could find a way to bring both of them up, honestly. But they also did release Sam Haggerty, I think, yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's a thing that could give credence to your thought of bringing up Jay Allen, because he played left field. They've got Will Benson playing center. You could just bring up Jay Allen, stick him in right field, or move Benson back to right and put Jay Allen in center. And then your outfield consists of Allen, Benson, Baez, and Hendrick as your four outfielders. That
Jorge.
And Carlos Jorge. So there's 5 decent outfielders out there. Obviously, Hendrick's hitting hasn't been good, but his defense is still pretty solid. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's got good speed for his size. So there's things that can happen, and obviously they can move Baez back to the infield maybe and figure something out along with that. But yeah, like you said, Tolia, I think he's ready to come up. Give him the Nathaniel Lowe role as like your backup first baseman, DH, and can even play outfield if you need him to.
Yeah, exactly, because he's a guy that's played the majors, so he's not going to be a guy like Hector who's seeing major league pitching for the first time ever. He can be a Nate Lowe where he's a professional season that, what do you say, hit 22 homers for the Rockies, mostly on the road.
25, yeah.
Yeah, so like this is not a kid learning major league pitching for the first time ever. So absolutely he should have the Nate Lowe spot. He should have had it already, in my opinion. But obviously they made some other subsequent moves to get Hector up after the trade deadline. That's fine.
Yeah.
He's already on the 40. I get it. It doesn't have that situation, and they ended up having Marciano, whatever his name is, added to the 40-man active roster because they needed the relief pitching more than maybe Tolia. But I don't know. With Hunter Green presumably going on the 60-day IL, there is a spot there, and you're right. Tolia should get it.
Yeah, and his batting average has climbed. I mean, he was hitting in the 240s for a while back in July, and he's up to 273. Yeah. I think he's got a 25-game plus on-base streak that's going on. And, it's Monday, and, the new week starts tomorrow. So Allen could come up. Tolia could come up. The Reds play tomorrow. Like anything could. I think that should happen. I think that's a move that needs to happen. We've had over on Reds on SI, Tim Daniel wrote about that, about the Reds need to bring up Tolia because I think, you're not bringing up a rookie, you're bringing up a seasoned vet that, has shown that he can hit at the major league level. He just struggles with the strikeout, but that, you can tinker with that. There's things that could be corrected. So I think it's time.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. Bring up Big Rube as well. That's all I asked for. The AAA. The thing though that kind of made me dismayed was seeing Baez playing in the outfield. It seems like the Baez dream of mine is coming to an unceremonious, not end, but maybe just he might end up being a guy that just stays in the minors. They don't see a future for him because they're putting him in the outfield as opposed to someone else. Makes me feel like they're just trying to fill spots, which is why I want Jay Allen there in that spot. I'd rather have Jay Allen playing left field, unfortunately, at the cost of Francisco Baez's at bats. But he had actually a great week, to be honest with you. So that was kind of I keep writing down these guys' names. I'm like, oh man, he did have a good week. I got to talk about him. So Baez went like 364 batting average, 400 on base, 773 slugging with a 1.173 OPS, 2 homers, 6 RBIs. He's slugging like an outfielder, which is crazy because he was a guy that we always talked about, slap hitter, got on base, hit 300, played the infield, his defense maybe a couple notches below Arroyo and Matt McClain, but was a serviceable player. And yeah, unfortunately now he's, I guess, going to be a career outfielder because we've got Brito, Arroyo and Balcazar in the infield, and maybe he can play third base, but then,
DH.
I guess, he's hitting. He's got to keep him in the lineup. And Louisville went 1-5. It's not like they're winning ball games, so they need somebody to hit.
Yeah. Another guy that I wanted to kind of shout out to was Cameron Cotter. He was another independent league signing. He got signed July 29th or 26th, I believe. Got assigned to Double-A. Didn't really do well in Double-A, 5.40 ERA. But then he gets moved up to Louisville. And in 4 games, he's got a save. He's got 5 innings pitched, 7 hits. He's got 2 strikeouts and 2 walks. But, guys are hitting him. He's got a 304 average against, but he's, finding ways to get out of it without allowing a run.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. And your guy, Kent Hammond, was it as well?
Kent, I wanted to talk about him too.
Yeah.
God, what?
Got another independent league guy. They seem to be hitting on those of late. Marcus Smith, another one who plays for
him too.
Has been hitting pretty well out of the independent league. Oh gosh, there was another guy as
Kent
well.
Emmanuel is who I wanted to talk about. Sorry. Yeah. So he was an independent league guy. He was the 2013 ACC Pitcher of the Year at North Carolina. Out of high school, he was drafted in the 19th round by the Pirates, goes to college, goes to North Carolina, pitches the team into the College World Series. He gets to independent leagues. He was great. And then he made his Reds debut with Louisville Sunday. Pitched 6 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, 8 strikeouts, and one of his hits was a home run. That was his one run was a home run. Just really good stuff from him. He has a history. He came up with the Astros and in 2020 had a PED suspension. Comes back in 2021, makes his major league debut. Shortly after his debut, had Tommy John. He's a 2-time Tommy John pitcher, so tie him into Hunter Green, TJ Antone. He's a starter. He was a reliever at the major league levels, never started at the major league level. Although his major league debut was an 8-inning relief appearance. So, it was it was a lengthy one. So that could probably tie into why he needed Tommy John after that outing. But, can touch 93, 94 with his fastball. I did a little research on him today. I wrote about him with his outing yesterday, but just, a great debut. He's 34, it's nothing. He's not like a top prospect or anything like that, but, seasoned 2-year major league career, never really dominated as a reliever, but he could be a serviceable starter, especially with Green out and us having issues trying to find a 5th starter. If they go with a bullpen type situation for the 5th guy, especially with Williamson struggles and not wanting to use Petty as a starter, I could see them going with an Emmanuel. I think he's a lefty. So you could go with him, and then you could go to Petty, and then you can go to Williamson as like your 2 inning guys, and then you can go into your back end of the bullpen after that. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that, honestly, if they can figure something out with that.
Yeah, especially since Sam Mole does not have a lot of confidence in the fans. He could be on the way out for his Reds career, and sticking Ken Emmanuel in his 40-man spot. I say why not? We also, I think, still got Zach McCambley rolling around there in Louisville as well. So he might be another guy that could possibly come up there and eat some innings late in the season when they really need it. Like you said, if they go every 5th day with a bullpen game. So we will see. It's going to be very interesting what this organization looks like in a couple days. Maybe with the Tolia moving up or maybe not. We'll see exactly what players are going to possibly be DFA'd possibly. We're getting to a point of the season where I'd rather, at least for me, I'd rather see what we got in the minors than kind of just keep rolling out TJ Friedel and keep rolling out Brian Hayes and whatnot.
Yeah, TJ Friedel's 0 for 19 since the All-Star break. So there's another notch in his belt. I love TJ Friedel as a ball player. I love the way he plays the game. But he's not hitting when he constantly drops down bunts, and he's getting out on those bunts. So it's not like he's even letting out these hits because you don't have the speed anymore either. So, at what point do you just say, hey, TJ, we love what you did, but you've got 2 more options. Like we're going to move you down. Like we got to do something with it or something. It's just becoming a waste of a roster spot because, I mean, we saw on Sunday they pinch hit Ke'Bryan Hayes for TJ Friedel, and it's just like what like it's here's our one crap right-handed hitter for our crap-handed hitter, and just here's an automatic out regardless.
Yeah.
Like Tolia would have been a perfect situation to bring in on as a pinch hitter. He's a switch hitter too, so it's like you can use him in any way. It's just I hate that that's happening.
Yeah, the 3-team wild card situation is a blessing and a curse. They get in last year, back in, because of thank you Marlins beating the Mets in game 162. But at the same time, this year it's a curse because the organization, Nick Kroll and company, exactly, are like, well, we're kind of still in it, so we're not going to sell, nor are we going to really buy. And it ends up being a situation where, luckily we get to see Hector this year. I thought Hector was going to be, like a guy that basically was going to be September only. But like, I need to see more out of the AAA guys that are hitting pretty well, right? Obviously Hector deserved it because he's really slugging really hard, like 27 home runs, 70 RBIs in like less than 100 games down in Louisville. And then now Tolia, the same thing. Like, let's see what we got. And like I said, we've said it already many times. Tolia is not no unproven product. He's not like a guy that we're taking a rolling the dice. He's going to be able to give you quality at bats as a major leaguer.
Yeah, for sure. And he's got power, and that's what the Reds have a lot of now. And why not bring somebody else up who has power to drive in runs? If somebody can get on base, you can have somebody bring them in.
For sure. Anything else about Louisville for prospect of the week?
No. Just shout out Kent Emanuel for his Reds debut.
For sure. Yeah, that's great. And yeah, check out Reds on SI's Ricky's article out there. So that'll be good to learn about a guy that you may see in the major sooner or later. But speaking of guys that get on base, we've got enough guys that hit home runs, especially major league level. But we got a guy here for the prospect of the week that got on base a lot this week. And we're going to find out about him after this ad.
I made the switch from traditional coffee to mud water because of all that caffeine was leaving me feeling anxious. Mud water has a fraction of the caffeine, plus organic ingredients and functional mushrooms like lion's mane, reishi, chaga, and cordyceps to support immune functionality. It became a healthier part of my morning routine, and I genuinely enjoy the rich flavor. If you want to give it a try, use our exclusive link, mudwater.com/allglovesoff, and you'll get 20% off your first order.
Yeah, shout out Mudwater. Check them out. We'll have that link in the description as well. But our prospect of the week, Daytona's been on fire, man. I can't believe it. We were lamenting how terrible they were the first half of the season, and we're like, hey, let's just get it going. Like maybe infusing some guys from ACL will get them going. But they started to get going on their own for the second half of the season. And this guy's a little bit a part of it, especially this week. Mr. Rafael Torres is our prospect of the week, hitting .565, having a slugging of .696, 9 runs scored. That's pretty good. Didn't hit for much power because he only got I think 3 doubles and 4 RBIs. So he's a table setter. He got on base for the Tortugas, and they drove him in with Adolfo Sanchez down there now and Arnaldo Lantigua. Taiju Set no longer there, but you got guys like who else they got that drive in runs. Losing the thread. How about Hervin Murillo?
Yes, Hervin Murillo. Steel ball. They had Bernard Moon.
28 doubles on the season, by the way, Ricky. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Earlier. So
jeez.
Shout out to Bernard Moon. Maybe up in Dayton sooner or later, I hope.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be really nice. It's kind of hard with the infield depth, especially with the draft picks. But yeah, I mean, he's deserving of it for sure. Yeah. Torres, tiny guy, 5'11", 170. Obviously, the power is not going to show up in the frame, but he can run into him. He's got 2 home runs on the season, 19 doubles. Does a pretty good job of getting on base. He's got 46 walks on the season. He's a really good talent. He's out of Venezuela. He's 20 years old. Hopefully, this is just him getting started, and he can really blossom into a really good player in the organization, and can one day be, whether it's a starter at the major league level or be a very productive utility man or a very productive bench bat that teams desperately need as they try to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I want to say earlier in the season, I saw him also in the outfield for a couple games. So I think he's got a little bit of flexibility, unless I'm thinking of somebody else. But this was probably before they promoted a bunch of guys like Booton and Jalen Hairston to play the outfield for the Tortugas. This is maybe just needed to fill in the outfield type of situation, like a la Francisco or Baez out there in Louisville. But it's nice to see that. I wanted to highlight a Tortuga, but this guy, his numbers were off the chain, so we wanted to highlight him. I haven't talked about him a lot this year, to be honest with you. Possibly he's on the season hitting only
245.
Yeah, so it might be it. He's maybe catching fire, kind of like the Tortugas the second half of the season after a pretty rough first half. So hopefully he can build on this success and keep it going. But you're right. The infield is just getting more clogged everywhere in our system, it feels like, from AAA all the way down to, Daytona and ACL. So, so good stuff out of him. We'll hopefully be able to see more out of him in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of misspoke on his size. He's 5'11", 150. So he's a small guy, kind of Pablo Nunez-esque in his size. Just real tiny guy. Switch hitter, shortstop. And I'm seeing on the MILB page this season he's played only shortstop and second base. 76 games at short, 28 games at second base. Third base in the ACL, shortstop, second base, shortstop, second, shorts. Yeah, so I don't see any outfield. Maybe he might have played an inning or something out there. I don't know, but
no, it probably is just my eyes. Sometimes the Daytona camera can be kind of tricky too.
Yeah, I mean they basically use like a Blink home security camera as like their setup. But they've improved over the years. It is a little bit better than what it used to be, so we'll give them that. Yeah. Don't want to knock a low A franchise for their camera quality.
No, it's a nice ballpark. Jackie Robinson Field out there, and I think they built up the clubhouse or the offices and stuff like that. So they're fixing everything up there. Camera work maybe will come to.
I think we'll try to get out to I don't know about a series, maybe a few games out there next year. We'll take a few days and go down there.
Spring break.
We'll go hang out with Matthew Mounty for a little bit and get up in the booth for a minute or something. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I mean it's a good looking ballpark. Daytona is a beautiful area. It's a lot of rain, so we'll see. But yeah, I shout out Rafael Torres. Like Carrick says in the chat, last 28 days, 418 average, 448 on base, 544 slugs. So just he's improving. He's just 20 years old. He's growing into his frame. So yeah, I mean, could blossom into a decent player.
Yeah, love to see it, and love to see his contribution. Hopefully, get them a second half playoff appearance. The 2025 Tortugas went all the way to the World Series or their final for the Florida State League. So maybe they make another appearance and maybe they get the job done this year. You never know.
You never know.
So, all right. Anything else you got, Ricky? I think we covered all the bases, all the affiliates. Top.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about the giveaway. September 5th, we will end the giveaway the final Sunday or Monday of this month. We'll figure that out. I think it's the 30th or something like that. 29th, I think. That'll give you 5 days to get your tickets and get in there. Bobblehead days are extremely, extremely busy, especially for Ellie. I think you went to the Francona bobblehead and you said it wasn't too bad, which is kind of understanding. But, it's in the Phioptics section. It's really good, really nice area. If you're not familiar with the Vioptic section, it's pick your own seating, so you can claim your own seat. It's in the left field corner by the foul pole. You're up a level, and they have a pavilion up in the concourse. You can sit in like lounge seating or like a nice comfy couch. Watch the game on TV with the Reds radio broadcast. They've got cornhole and stuff like up there too. It's a nice area, and you get $10 concessions for each ticket. So if you go with a kid, you got $20 and they're not going to eat. You got $20 for you to go get you a Sky Rosa.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And you need the MLB Ballpark app, digital tickets, all that good stuff. So enter now. We'll get you in there and do that drawing on one of our shows and get you all set up for the Red Legs against hopefully a good series against the Brewers. Otherwise, it's the start of a September gauntlet, right? Like
yeah.
Oof, like Dodgers, Brewers, Cubs, and then to finish it off, the ALCS, winners of Toronto Blue Jays. So, we'll see how it goes. So hopefully it's a good series. Hopefully Ellie can homer on his bobblehead day like he did last year. So
that was epic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was a good time, especially against those stinking Pirates and swept them. So, but yeah, Ricky, you got anything else coming out on SI this week?
Nothing planned yet. But I got the article that came out just a few minutes ago on Kent Emanuel, so that's out there.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with any moves or anything, or if Tolia gets called up, I'll see if I can snag that one. But yeah,
you might want to write it now.
I know, right? I already got it in the tank.
Just press publish, bang. But yeah, check that out. We really appreciate everyone that tuned in. Shout out to all our fans. We really appreciate you guys following us. We're trying to grow this and get this going. And then we did tease we're gonna get a top 30 list. It'll be out this week. We'll record it. It'll be dueling lists. So Ricky and I might have some differences of opinion on certain guys and where we're gonna slot them and whatnot. But yeah, it'll come out later this week, maybe Thursday, Friday after we record it. So check that out, on all your usual channels, audio and visual.
Yeah, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all those. If you haven't already, give us a 5-star review. It really helps us out, get us in the algorithm. It's hard to compete with the big boys, but we eventually want to be one of the big boys. So you can't start without your guys' help, and you guys help us grow. And we're grateful for everybody that tunes in and listens and chimes in on social media and everything else. Follows us on X, follows us on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. You're just grateful.
Yeah, we really appreciate it all, y'all. And until then, go Reds.
Go Reds.